So do you have any goals for your music in the upcoming year, or are you just gonna kind of go with the flow and see what happens? Hey, it's Dean. Welcome back to the studio. And today I want to give you 5 areas that you can set goals for your music in the upcoming year. And I know as creators, we tend to just create. We don't think a lot about setting goals, but I can say from personal experience that when I've set goals for my music within a year, I accomplish a whole lot more than if I don't really have any goals and I'm just kind of doing whatever. The first area for setting goals is song creation. And this is talking about the creative part of the process where you're sitting down with your instrument or at your recording program and you're just coming up with new ideas. But just to be clear, these are not completed, polished, perfected songs. These are simply ideas. You might be recording them on a voice memo or just as a rough idea into your recording program. So in this area, I'd like you to think about how many song ideas you want to come up with in a given month. And whether your pace is truly 1 idea a week or maybe it's 2 ideas a month, the whole goal is to give yourself a library of creative ideas to pull from when you go to actually completing a song. Which leads straight into our second area for music goals in the coming year, and that is song completion. And this is where we take one of those creative ideas and we put in the work to bring it all the way to the finish line. And in this part of the process is where we often have to step beyond just those initial inspirations or the feelings of fun. So I want to throw out 3 ideas for you setting goals in the area of song completion in the coming year. Option 1 would be completing a song every month. This is definitely an intense pace even for me, but if you're able to stick with it, you complete an album within a calendar year, which is crazy cool. But if you're really crunched on time, then you might go for option number 2, which is setting a goal of completing a song every 3 months or 4 songs in a year. This is a pace that works for almost everybody out there if you're willing to put in the work, and it's a really cool pace because you end up with a 4-song album or an EP at the end of the year. And then option number 3 would be for those of you who truly do not have a lot of free time, i.e. maybe a mom with lots of kids, and the goal would be to complete 1 song every 6 months. It's a very doable pace, and at the end of the year you end up with 2 singles, and I'll just say that the song creation and the song completion process really balance one another. If we just get into creating songs, we might make hundreds of ideas, but then we never finish them and we don't have anything to show for our efforts. But on the flip side, if you try and complete every song idea you create, you might come out with some songs that really aren't that fantastic. Area number 3 would be setting goals for releasing and sharing your music in the upcoming year. Releasing has to do with publishing it and making it available to listen, while sharing it has to do with your messaging behind your music. So on the publishing side of things, you really need to ask yourself, who do I want to hear this music? Level 1 would be friends and family. That could be accomplished by something as simple as an email. Area number 2 would be publishing it online so that it can be played or streamed on any of the major platforms, which requires what's called an aggregate, someone like DistroKid, TuneCore, who helps get your music and put it onto the major platforms like Spotify and iTunes. Then level 3 of publishing your music could be, are there any music blogs or playlists that I want to try and submit my music to? And that of course is going to require you to look them up, see if they have a submission form, and get your music ready to submit to that blog or playlist. So that's publishing, but what about the messaging, the sharing side of things? This is where you tell the story of your music. You might do a song story. Is there a music video? Is there an interview? Are there ways that you can share about your music and your message more than just hitting publish? A 4th area for setting goals would be personal growth as an artist. And what I mean by that is look through your entire process from the songwriting side, your instrumentation, your vocals, into recording, producing, mixing, on into publishing, marketing, messaging. Look through that whole process and go, where am I the weakest? And if I were able to strengthen myself as an artist in one of those areas, which one would make the biggest impact on my music in the coming year? And for me personally, over the years, I've had seasons where I focus on a particular part of my song making process. And this has included lessons, coaching, courses, and just spending time working hard on that one part of my music making process. So identify where you need to grow in the coming year, and then ask yourself, what do I need to do to grow in this area? So we're gonna get into the 5th and final area that I think you should be setting goals for your music in the coming year. And I save this one for last because personally, I feel like this is one of the most important areas that you could be setting goals for yourself. And at the same time, I don't feel like I really hear anybody talk about this. And it's simply this: Do you have vision for your music? And what I mean by that is most people, when they think about making music, their only goal is basically just get heard or make it big. Why do you write music? And what do you write your music about? And if someone's listening to your song, how do you want them to react to it or be impacted by it? So if you don't have vision for what your music is all about, I think this year you need to set a goal to really search that out. Write down the whys, write down why you make music and how you want it to impact your listeners. So we'll wrap it up right there, and that's 5 areas where you can set goals for your music in the coming year. And if you want a nice worksheet that you can actually print out, think about this stuff, write it all down, post it up on your wall, then check out the link in the description where you can find a free PDF when you become an email subscriber here at the studio. So this has been Dean. Thanks for joining me today in the studio. I'll catch you in the next video.